God says, I will never talk to you if you skip me now. A big tragedy is coming your way. I'm trying to save you from it. Open this immediately. There are moments in life when everything feels quiet, not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the stillness that comes with confusion, fear, or sorrow. In those moments, your heart cries out for something more, something true, something steady in a world that often feels like it's falling apart. And right there, in that silence, God whispers. He doesn't shout, and he doesn't force. He waits with love, with arms wide open, hoping you'll look up, hoping you'll choose him. If your heart is even slightly open right now, he's speaking to you. He's not warning you to frighten you, but to protect you. His voice is gentle, but his love is fierce, and he wants you to know that what's ahead doesn't have to break you. He can carry you through it, if you let him. Type 2222 if you believe. There is something sacred about a quiet moment with the Lord. It's not always about the words you say. It's about the posture of your heart. God doesn't ask you to be perfect or to have all the answers. He simply asks you to come to him, to stay with him, and not walk away when things get hard or confusing. Sometimes life doesn't make sense. Sometimes pain enters without knocking, and it leaves you breathless and tired. But even then, God stays. He never runs from your brokenness. He leans in closer, draws near to your wounds, and brings light where darkness once lived. There's a storm ahead, and though you may not see it yet, he does. He sees the battles forming, the trials rising, and the tears you haven't cried yet, and with a heart full of love, he's reaching out not with anger, not with threat, but with hope. He's saying, please don't turn away. Please don't walk into this storm without me. I am trying to protect you. His love is like a shelter, like a quiet place where the wind cannot reach, where you can be held, healed, and made whole. Sometimes we look for God in the grand and loud moments, but he often speaks in the simple stillness, a soft thought in your heart, a sudden peace in the middle of chaos, a warmth that wasn't there before. That's him. He's near. He's closer than your breath, and he's been waiting for this moment. Don't skip him. Don't rush past his voice. Because what's coming is real, and without him it could shake you. But with him, you'll stand strong, even in the fiercest storm. When the world tells you to move on, to focus on success, to chase after temporary things, God calls you back to the eternal. He calls you home. He calls you to trust him, even when everything around you tells you otherwise. It's not always easy. Faith takes courage. It takes choosing him over distractions, over doubt, over everything that tries to pull you away. But oh, how worth it he is. He doesn't promise a life without sorrow, but he promises a life filled with his presence. And that presence changes everything. Type 1212 if you trust in God. You may not realize it now, but you are deeply loved, not because of what you've done or failed to do, but because you are his. You were created with care, chosen with purpose, and held with a love that never ends. That love is what's calling to you today. That love is why he speaks with urgency, not to scare you, but to stir you, to wake your heart up before it's too late. The enemy would rather you stay distracted, numb, disconnected. But God wants you aware, strong, and protected beneath his covering. There is something powerful that happens when you open your heart to him again. Something quiet but unshakable. You begin to see differently. You begin to feel differently. The weight you carry begins to lift, not all at once, but steadily, piece by piece, as he carries it with you. He knows your story, every chapter, even the pages you've torn out or tried to forget. And still, he stays. Still, he loves. Still, he invites you to walk with him, not as a stranger, but as a beloved child. This is not just another message. It's a divine moment, a sacred invitation. God is reaching for you right now, and though you may not fully understand why, your heart knows it's real. Don't ignore it. Don't let fear, doubt, or busyness drown out his voice. He is trying to save you. From what? You may not know today, but one day you'll look back and see that it was his mercy all along. His hand pulling you from what could have been your breaking point. You are not alone. You are not forgotten, and you are not too far gone. Whatever burden you carry, whatever weight presses on your chest, God can lift it. He can breathe life back into your weary soul. All he asks is that you stay, that you listen, that you don't skip him for something that won't save you. He is the only one who can calm the storm before it hits, or give you the strength to walk through it with peace. There are moments when the heart feels like it's carrying too much, when you try to smile but deep inside, there's a heaviness that words can't quite explain. Maybe no one else sees it, maybe you've gotten good at hiding it, but God sees every single ache you carry. He knows the fear you don't talk about, the worries that keep you awake at night, and the silent prayers you whisper through your tears. You might feel like you're holding on by a thread, but he wants you to know that he's holding you with hands that never fail, with love that doesn't let go. Type 111 if you believe God is still working for you behind the scenes. This 9-word phrase was once buried under government secrecy, but now it's resurfacing, sparking a global wave of prosperity stories. Experts reveal it reactivates a money magnet section of your brain most people never use. Say it once daily and watch financial blocks vanish. But this page could vanish too. Click the link in the description and comments before it's gone. Life can pull you in so many directions. People may fail you, plans might fall apart, and sometimes everything you thought was secure begins to crumble. In those moments you might wonder where God is, but he's never left your side. Not for a second. He's been the steady presence in your life. Even when everything else shifted, his love doesn't depend on your circumstances, and it isn't shaken by your struggles. While you may feel weak, he remains strong. While you may feel lost, he knows exactly where you are. There are warnings he places in our hearts not to scare us, but to protect us. Not all pain comes with a loud sound. Some of it creeps in slowly, disguised as just another bad day, until it grows into something that steals our joy, our peace, and our hope. That's why God nudges you now. That's why he's saying, don't walk away. Don't shut me out. There's something ahead I want to shield you from. You may not know what it is, but he does. And because he loves you so deeply, he won't stay silent. You were not made to carry all this weight on your own. You were not meant to walk through life with your heart full of unanswered questions and your soul heavy with sorrow. Jesus came not just to show you the way, but to walk beside you in it. He understands the pain of rejection, the loneliness of nights that feel too long, the feeling of being misunderstood or unseen. And he offers something no one else can, a love that never walks away, a peace that doesn't make sense to the world, and a strength that shows up right when you need it most. Type 222 if you believe Jesus walks with you even when you don't feel it. When God asks you to stay close, it's not because he wants to control you, it's because he wants to protect you. He knows the traps the enemy sets. He knows how quickly hope can fade when we drift too far. He knows how lies can sound like truth when we stop listening to his voice. That's why he keeps calling. That's why he speaks with such urgency. He's not angry at you. He's desperate to draw you in before something in the world tries to tear you apart. Every day you have a choice: to press into his presence or to walk away, to trust his leading or to rely on your own strength. God won't force himself on you, but he will never stop pursuing you. His love is steady, not because you deserve it, but because that's who he is. He is faithful, even when you feel faithless. He is patient, even when you wander. And he is always near, even when you don't notice. There's a kind of peace that doesn't come from knowing how everything will work out. It comes from knowing who holds your future. That peace is available to you, right now. Not when your problems go away, not when things get better, But even in the middle of the unknown, even in the waiting, even in the fear. Because God is not asking you to figure everything out, He's simply asking you to trust Him, to let Him in, to let Him be the one who calms the storm before it even reaches you. Maybe lately you've been pulled away from God. Maybe you didn't mean to drift, but the world just got too loud and you forgot how to be still. It happens to so many of us. Life has a way of distracting us from what matters most, but God isn't holding it against you. He's just asking you to come back, not with shame, not with guilt, but with open arms and an open heart. He still wants you, He still chooses you, and He still believes in what He created in you. You are not too far gone. It's not too late. No mistake, no sin, no failure has changed the way He sees you. You are still His, still loved, still worth rescuing. The world may try to define you by your worst days, but God never will. He sees your potential. He sees your purpose. He sees the beauty in you that even you've forgotten. And He's inviting you to step back into His light. Don't ignore that tug you feel in your heart right now. That's Him. That's His voice. That's His hand, gently reaching for yours. Don't skip this moment. Don't silence His call, because something is coming, and He wants to make sure you're not caught off guard. He wants to be your shelter, your peace, your guide through what lies ahead. But you must stay close. You must keep your heart open. There's power in surrender. Power in saying, God, I need you. It's not weakness. It's the beginning of freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from shame, freedom from the burden of trying to handle everything on your own. God doesn't promise a life without pain, but He promises to never leave you in it. And sometimes, what feels like a storm is really His hand, clearing the path for something better. Let Him in. Let Him protect you. Let Him restore what's been lost, heal what's been broken, and guide you away from what was never meant to harm you. He's not here to punish you. He's here to save you. Before the tragedy, before the tears, before the fall, His love is the answer you've been looking for. His presence is the home your soul longs to return to. There's a stirring in your soul that cannot be silenced, a quiet ache that longs for something deeper than what this world offers. You might feel it in the stillness of the night, in the quiet moments between distractions, when everything fades and your heart is left with its truest need. That need is not for comfort alone, or answers, or escape. It's for Him. It's for the one who shaped your heart with His own hands, the one who whispers truth into the dark corners of your life and never stops calling your name, even when you try to ignore Him. Type 1212 if you walk by faith and not by sight. Every second you wait, wealth meant for you slips into someone else's hands. A hidden brainwave, once buried in CIA files, has been proven to awaken unstoppable prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch inside your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. This is more than an opportunity, it is destiny knocking. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. There are days when you feel distant from God, when your heart feels too tired to pray and your thoughts are too noisy to hear His voice. In those moments, it's easy to think He has gone quiet or turned away, but the truth is, He has never stopped being near. He stands at the door of your heart waiting, not with judgment, but with mercy. He knows how hard things have been. He knows the weight you've carried in silence, the tears you've wiped away when no one was looking, and the fear you've buried deep inside because you didn't know who to turn to. And still, He's right here, reaching, loving, calling. What He's saying to you now isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken something inside of you. He sees what's coming, even if you can't. And because He loves you, He won't stay silent. He's not threatening to walk away. He's warning you that if you keep shutting Him out, Your heart may no longer hear him. He knows what a hardened heart can become. He knows how the world's noise can drown out his whisper. He doesn't want that for you. He wants you to remain sensitive to his voice, grounded in his presence, and secure in his love. Maybe lately, you've been pulled in too many directions. Maybe you've let distractions become louder than his peace. It happens to all of us. The enemy doesn't always show up as chaos. Sometimes he shows up as comfort, as convenience, as a harmless compromise that slowly steals your connection with God. And before you know it, you've drifted. Not because you stopped loving him, but because you stopped leaning in. And that's why he's speaking now. Because he wants you back before something comes that could break you. He's not a God who gives up. He's the God who waits, who watches, who calls. He's the father who runs to his child when they finally turn back home, not with punishment, but with arms wide open and a heart full of joy. That's what he wants to do for you right now. Bring you back, wrap you in peace, shield you from what the enemy is planning. This moment matters. It's not just another scroll, another message, another feeling. It's divine, it's intentional, and it's full of love that refuses to let you go. Type 1919 to receive miracles in your life this week. There's a quiet kind of strength that comes when you give God your full attention. It's not loud. It doesn't always come with fireworks or dramatic signs. But it's real. It's the kind of strength that lets you sleep when the world feels like it's crumbling. The kind that steadies your hands when you feel like falling apart. The kind that reminds you, I am not alone, and I am not without help. That strength is here for you. It's not earned, it's received. And it begins with saying, God, I don't want to skip you anymore. I need you more than I need anything else. This world can tempt you with comfort, but it cannot give you peace. It can offer temporary relief, but not lasting healing. Only God can do that. Only Jesus can step into the middle of your chaos and bring clarity, hope, and healing that lasts. Only He can speak to the parts of you that no one else understands. And that's what He wants to do. Right here, right now, not tomorrow, not after you fix yourself, but as you are. He's not afraid of your mess. He's not surprised by your doubts. He's just waiting for the moment you say yes again. You don't have to carry the pressure of being perfect. You don't have to perform for His love. He sees through it all, the masks, the efforts, the hiding, and still He says, you are mine. That love doesn't run out. It doesn't grow tired. And it never walks away, even when you've walked away 100 times before. He knows your heart. He knows how much you want to believe again, to trust again, to feel close to Him again. And He's not holding your past against you. He's just holding out His hand saying, let's start again. This is your moment, a holy moment. Not because of anything you've done, but because of what He's doing right now inside your heart. You may not even have words for it, but He does. You may feel like crying, or you may feel peace washing over you without reason. That's Him. That's His presence. That's the one who formed you, finding His way back into the places you thought were too far gone. Don't rush this. Don't scroll past it. Sit with it. Let it sink in. Let Him speak. He wants to guide you away from pain, from loss, from the plans of the enemy. But you must be willing to stay with Him, to follow even when the path looks unfamiliar. He won't always show you the whole picture, but He will never lead you into harm. His plans for you are still good. His purpose for you is still alive. And His love for you has never been more real than it is right now. There is healing in His voice. There is rescue in His timing. There is peace in His presence. Whatever is coming, you don't have to face it alone. You don't have to figure it out by yourself. You just have to stay close, stay rooted, and stay willing to walk with Him. He sees what you cannot see, and because of that, He speaks with urgency, not to scare you, but to save you. You may have felt forgotten lately, like your prayers are going unanswered, like the silence has become louder than God's promises. You might be wondering if He still hears you, if He still cares, if He's still working on your behalf. And in the quiet, when no one else sees your battles, there's a deep cry from your soul for something real, something unshakable. God wants you to know that He sees you, He has not left you, and He's never once turned His face away from your pain. He is still speaking, still moving, still reaching to pull you out before what's ahead can break you. Type yes to affirm that you still believe in God's plan for your life. The struggles you've faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. This world will try to convince you that you have to be strong on your own, that you must carry every burden without help, and that leaning on God is weakness. But that's a lie the enemy loves to whisper. The truth is, real strength begins the moment you decide to surrender, the moment you realize that God isn't asking you to be perfect, He's asking you to trust Him with everything you're not. That's where freedom begins. That's where healing starts to take root. It's in the quiet confession of, God, I need you, that the walls begin to fall and the light begins to pour in. When God says He's trying to save you, it's because He knows what you don't. He sees beyond the surface. He knows the traps being laid out in front of you, the moments where your heart might be tempted to give up, the situations where the enemy wants to destroy what God has been building within you. And so, He speaks now, not with coldness, not with condemnation, but with urgency. His voice is not here to shame you, it's here to rescue you. This is love, pure, holy, unrelenting love, speaking life into you before life tries to crush your spirit. Sometimes, tragedy doesn't look like disaster. Sometimes, it comes slowly, quietly, dressed as routine or comfort, stealing your fire for God, your passion for His presence. That's the kind of danger many never notice until it's too late. That's why God is saying, don't skip me, don't drift any farther. I want to stir your heart again before it grows numb. I want to wake you up before you stop listening completely. You may not see what's coming, but if your spirit is stirring now, it's because He's pulling you back in. Type 333 if you feel God calling you closer again. You are not too broken. You are not beyond hope. You are not disqualified from God's goodness because of what you've done or what you've failed to do. The enemy may try to replay your mistakes like a loop in your mind, but God isn't playing that tape. He's already forgiven you. He already sees you as redeemed, restored, and completely loved. All He wants is for you to return to Him, to stop hiding, to stop pretending you're okay when your heart is falling apart. He wants you as you are, not as you wish you could be. There is something holy about this moment, something sacred about the stillness in your heart right now. You may feel a lump in your throat, or tears forming in your eyes, or a strange warmth you can't explain. That's the Holy Spirit reminding you that you're not reading this by accident. God planned this moment long before you arrived here. He wanted to reach your heart before the storm. He wanted to remind you that He's not far off. He's here now, and He's ready to walk you through whatever lies ahead. Maybe you've stopped talking to Him because you felt like nothing changed when you prayed. Maybe the waiting became too heavy, or the pain too real. But He never stopped listening. He never ignored your cries. Every tear you've cried has been noticed. Every silent scream has been heard. God is not blind to your suffering. He is not distant from your struggle. And though you may feel forgotten by the world, you are deeply remembered by the One who formed it. You don't have to carry this alone. You were never meant to. Life may have made you feel like you have no choice but to be strong for everyone else. But God is offering you rest. He's offering you shelter. He's offering you healing, not just for your body, but for your soul. the kind of healing that seeps into the broken places no one else sees and gently restores what you thought was gone forever. When he speaks about what's coming, it's not to frighten you, it's to remind you that you have a safe place to run, a place where no weapon formed against you can prosper, a place where even if the storm comes, it cannot destroy you. That place is in his presence. That shelter is his love. That peace you're searching for exists in him, and it's yours if you're willing to receive it. You've been running too long. You've been surviving on your own strength for too long. It's time to come home. It's time to come back to the one who loved you before you even knew his name. He's not asking you to clean yourself up first. He's not waiting for perfection. He just wants your heart, your honesty, your willingness to say, I can't do this without you anymore. And when you do, something begins to shift. The heaviness begins to lift. The light starts to return. The path becomes clearer, not because the world changes overnight, but because your heart is now anchored in the one who never changes. God is your constant, your shield, your Father, your Savior, and he is not done with you. Whatever tragedy the enemy is trying to send your way, it will not destroy you if you stay under the covering of the Lord. Whatever pain is rising ahead, it will not break you if you cling to the one who holds you. God is not just warning you, he is preparing to shield you, but he needs you to stay near, to open your heart, to refuse to walk this road without him. There's a moment when life feels too heavy, when your heart feels like it's wrapped in layers of quiet pain, and everything around you keeps moving while your soul longs for a pause. Maybe no one knows how deep it really hurts, how tired you truly are, or how much you're trying to hold it all together. But God knows. He sees the struggle behind your smile, the silence behind your strength, and he's calling to you not with harshness, but with hope. He wants to be the place where you finally let your guard down, where you stop pretending and start healing. Type 666 if you trust Jesus, even when the path ahead feels unclear. What if you could unlock a secret brainwave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. You've been carrying so much, and maybe you've gotten used to it. You've learned how to keep going even when your heart is breaking. You've learned how to stay strong for others, to put on a brave face, to keep showing up. But God never created you to carry everything alone. He's been walking beside you this whole time, waiting for you to hand him what's been weighing you down. Not because he thinks you're weak, but because he knows the weight is too heavy for your shoulders, and it was never meant to stay there. He is speaking to you now because he knows what's ahead. He knows the doors that may close, the unexpected moments that may come, and the sharp turns that could leave you breathless. But he is not trying to frighten you. He is trying to prepare you. He's calling you close, not to warn you of destruction alone, but to remind you that he is your protector, your hiding place, your anchor in the storm. And when the winds rise, when everything starts to shake, those who stay near him will not be moved. There are things in life that only God can heal. Wounds so deep they don't show up on the outside, but they throb in the quiet hours. And maybe you've been hoping that time would take the pain away, that if you stayed busy enough you could forget. But God doesn't want you to forget, he wants to restore. He doesn't just heal the surface, he goes to the root. He steps into the places you've shut off and begins to bring light to what's been in the dark for too long. That's how he loves. That's how he saves. Not just from what's ahead, but from what you've been carrying for years. Maybe you've heard his voice before but ignored it. Maybe you've felt him tug at your heart but walked the other way. Maybe life just got too complicated and your faith got quieter. Even then, he didn't walk away. He didn't stop reaching. His love has always had your name written on it, and it's never been withdrawn. That's why this moment matters. It's not just another reminder. It's a divine invitation, a chance to come back to the one who never left. Type 2020 if you believe a miracle is being prepared with your name on it. You might not know what's coming, but you do know who goes before you. That alone is enough to keep your heart steady. That alone is enough to trust again. God never promised the absence of trouble, but He promised that He would walk with you through every fire, every flood, every silent battle. And if He's speaking now with such urgency, it's because His love cannot stay silent when danger is near. He's not just the God of comfort, He is the God of protection, of power, of perfect peace. And He wants to place that peace over your life before the storm even begins. There is no tragedy that can steal what God has written for you, as long as you stay in His presence. The enemy may try, the world may shake, but the covering of the Lord is stronger than anything that comes against you. And that covering is not earned. It's not based on how good you've been. It's based on how good He is. That's the miracle of grace. That's the promise of mercy, that no matter how far you've drifted, you're only ever one step away from being wrapped in His arms again. Don't let guilt keep you away. Don't let shame build a wall between you and the God who loves you. He's not focused on what you've done wrong. He's focused on bringing you home, on healing your soul, on preparing you for what's ahead. He's not watching you with disappointment. He's waiting for you with compassion. And all He wants is your heart, not your perfection, just your heart. You are more loved than you realize, more chosen than you understand, and more protected than you can see. Even when you feel alone, you're not. Even when your prayers feel unanswered, they're not unheard. God is always working, always moving, always arranging what the enemy meant for harm to become a testimony of grace. That's who He is. That's what He does. He turns endings into beginnings, ashes into beauty, brokenness into purpose. And though you might be facing something hard, though you might feel fear creeping in, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. God wants to walk every step with you. He wants to be the peace that stills your racing mind, the hand that steadies your trembling soul, and the voice that reminds you you are going to be okay, because you are held by the one who never fails. So don't turn away now. Don't scroll past this moment. Let your heart respond. Let your spirit open up again. You don't have to know all the answers. You just need to say, Lord, I'm here, I need you. And He will meet you right there in the rawness, in the realness, in the middle of your mess, and He will lift you up. What's ahead might be bigger than you, but it will never be bigger than God. What's coming may shake others, but if you're rooted in Him, you will stand firm. The safest place to be is not in control of everything. It's in the hands of the one who controls it all. And those hands are reaching for you now. There are seasons when everything seems uncertain, when even the smallest decisions feel heavy, and your heart longs for direction. You might be smiling in front of others, showing strength on the outside, but inside, there's a quiet storm no one knows about. You've been holding on, trying to stay steady, while your soul quietly whispers, God, I need you. That whisper has never gone unheard. That silent cry has reached heaven. And right now, He's responding not with judgment or anger, but with tender love and urgent compassion, because He sees what's coming before you do. Type 222 if you believe God is already going before you to make a way. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. You may not know why you feel this sudden stirring, why your heart feels pulled in ways you can't explain, but that's God. That's His Spirit, gently nudging you, drawing you back before the path grows dark. He doesn't call you with fear, He calls you with love. He doesn't warn you to shame you, He warns you to protect you. He doesn't turn His back when you're struggling. In fact, that's when He moves in closest. There are battles ahead that can't be won by your strength, but they can be won through His. There are choices you'll need to make soon that can't be made with human wisdom alone, and that's why He's calling you now. He wants to be the voice you listen to in the chaos. He wants to be the peace that steadies your decisions. He wants to be the one who holds you together when everything else starts to fall apart, but that can only happen if you don't turn away. You might not see the full picture, but God does. He sees the trap the enemy has laid. He sees the delay that's being sent to slow you down. He sees the heartache that could have taken you under, and instead of letting it reach you, He's trying to pull you closer so you never have to face it alone. That's love. That's mercy. That's the God who never stops fighting for your soul. Sometimes the danger isn't loud or obvious. Sometimes it looks like busyness, like comfort, like distractions that seem harmless but slowly pull you away from your purpose. That's how the enemy works. He doesn't always destroy with force. He often destroys with delay, with confusion, with distance from God. And God knows how easy it is to drift without even realizing it. That's why He's speaking now, softly but clearly, so you know this is the moment to come back to Him, to listen again, to lean in and be still in His presence. Type 1111 if you believe your future is safe in God's hands. You were never meant to walk through this life alone. You were never expected to carry every burden with a tired soul and a weary heart. God is not watching from a distance. He is right beside you, closer than you realize, holding the pieces of your life in His gentle hands, working through the unseen to keep you from falling. You may think no one notices what you're going through, but God does. He doesn't overlook your pain. He doesn't ignore your cries. He steps into your world with love that heals and truth that restores. When He says He won't speak to you if you keep ignoring Him, it's not to punish you, it's to remind you how fragile your connection with Him becomes when your heart keeps turning elsewhere. The more you silence His voice, the harder it becomes to hear it. The more you delay, the deeper you sink into decisions and distractions that pull you far from peace. And still, His mercy reaches. Still, His love pursues. Still, His hand is stretched out, even when yours has fallen to your side. God is not waiting for you to be perfect before He steps in. He's not asking for cleaned-up prayers or well-polished faith. He's just asking for your heart, raw, real, surrendered. The kind of heart that says, God, I don't have it all figured out, but I want to be close to you again. That's where healing begins. That's where miracles start to form. That's where fear loses its grip. Maybe you've started to forget what it feels like to rest in Him. Maybe your faith has been worn thin by disappointment, by waiting, by heartache that hasn't healed yet. But even in that weariness, He's still whispering, come to me, stay with me. You don't need to have every answer. You just need to be willing to listen again, to quiet the noise, to let Him rebuild what's been slowly falling apart. There is beauty in returning. There is peace in surrender. And there is strength in knowing that even if you've walked away 1,000 times, He still welcomes you like it's the first. That's the kind of Father He is. That's the kind of love He gives. Endless, patient, strong enough to pull you from whatever is trying to break you. Don't ignore this moment. Don't brush off this message. You may not know how much you need Him right now, but He does. You may not see how close the storm really is, but He does. And the beautiful thing is, even now, He's already preparing the way through it. He's already aligning protection, opening doors, setting up divine appointments, all because you are that important to Him, not because you've earned it, but because you're His. This moment might be the one that shifts everything. Not because the world changes around you, but because your heart changes inside you. You stop running. You stop pretending. You stop trying to be strong on your own. And you let God be everything He's always wanted to be for you, your refuge, your peace, your protector, your guide. Let Him in again. Let Him be the center. Let Him lead you out of the trap the enemy is hoping you'll fall into. You don't have to fear what's ahead when your heart is anchored in the one who already holds the future. He's not done with you. He's not disappointed in you. He's not silent because He's angry. He's silent sometimes because He's waiting for you to make room again, to listen again, to return not just with words, but with a heart that says, God, I'm yours. Maybe it's the weight of all you've been through, or the fear of what's ahead, or maybe it's just the silence that makes you wonder if God is still near. But He is. Even when the world feels dim and quiet, even when it seems like the sky has no answers, He is near, and He's whispering right now, don't walk away, don't close your heart. He's trying to rescue you before you step into something that could crush you. Type Amen if you believe God still speaks to those who listen. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And even if no one around you understands what you're battling with right now, God does. He knows the depth of your struggles, even the ones you've never shared with anyone. And more than that, He understands the temptation to give in to the numbness, to stop caring, to let your heart grow cold just to survive. But that's not living. That's just existing. And you were made for more than that. You were made to thrive in His love, to walk in His purpose, to move forward not in fear, but in faith. That's why He's reaching for you now, urgently, tenderly, fully aware of what's coming if you keep shutting Him out. This isn't just a warning. It's a rescue. It's not about punishment. It's about protection. God sees the traps ahead, the heartbreaks that haven't yet arrived, the disappointments that are forming. And instead of letting them hit you with full force, He's trying to pull you back under His shelter. But He can't do that if you keep walking away. He can't protect you if your heart is in places He didn't lead you to. His covering rests where His presence is welcomed. And this is your moment to welcome Him back into the center of everything. Type 1717 if you choose to return fully to God's presence today. There are paths that seem harmless now, but down the road, they lead to pain. There are choices that feel small today, but tomorrow they become habits that steal your peace and dim your spirit. That's why God cares about your heart. That's why He's warning you. Not because He wants control, but because He wants to spare you from the tears that don't need to be cried. He's not just trying to fix your behavior, He's trying to save your soul. Maybe you've been quiet with God lately. Maybe you've let your prayer life grow cold, not because you stopped believing, but because you got tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of feeling like He wasn't responding. And in that tiredness, you started to drift. Not all at once, but slowly. One skipped prayer, one ignored whisper, one compromise. And before you knew it, your spirit felt distant. But even then, His love never moved. Even then, His hand was still over your life. He's not waiting for you to clean yourself up before He talks to you. He's not standing at a distance waiting for you to perform. He's right here, right now, in this very moment, speaking directly to your heart, calling you by name. Not the name the world gives you, not the label your past placed on you, but the name only He knows, the one that says you are chosen, you are His, you are worth saving. You've been fighting battles in silence, trying to stay strong, trying to make sense of everything on your own. But God didn't create you to carry that alone. That weight you feel on your chest, that tightness that doesn't go away, that pressure to hold it all together, He's asking you to give it to Him, to finally stop carrying it alone, to let Him be your shelter, your healer, your Father again. Because the truth is, what's ahead may shake others, but it does not have to shake you if you're standing with Him. What's coming may test your faith, but it will not destroy you if your heart stays rooted in His Word. And what the enemy planned for harm can be turned into something beautiful if you let God remain at the center of your life. He's not calling you to perfection. He's calling you to honesty, to surrender, to open the doors you've kept locked and say, God, come in, change what needs to be changed, heal what needs to be healed. Stay with me, guide me, speak to me again. That's where the shift happens. That's where the covering settles. That's where the miracle begins. You don't have to earn His love, you just have to receive it. You don't have to prove your worth. He already decided you were worth dying for. And even if you've failed Him 100 times, He would choose you again. That's what grace looks like. That's what mercy feels like. That's the heart of Jesus, never giving up, never walking away, never tired of loving you. So don't skip this moment. Don't brush past His voice. He's not just asking for a little more of your time. He's asking for your heart, because your heart is where everything flows from. If you give Him your heart, He will give you peace, clarity, and strength for what's to come. He'll open doors no man can close. He'll protect you in ways you didn't even know you needed protection. And He'll stay through the storm, through the silence, through the unknown. Let this be the moment that your story shifts, not because the outside changes, but because something within you does. You stop resisting, you stop doubting, and you finally say, God, I trust you, even when I don't understand, even when I feel afraid. I will not walk away this time. He sees your faith, even if it's small. He honors your surrender, even if it's trembling. And He moves mountains for those who choose to walk with Him when it's hardest to believe. This is not the end. This is not the moment you fall. This is the moment you rise, not in your own strength, but in His grace. It's not coming from guilt. It's not meant to push you down. It's the voice of a loving Father who sees what you don't see and knows what's coming before it even arrives. And in His mercy, He's not staying silent. He's reaching for you before something breaks, before something falls, before something painful tries to reach you without His protection surrounding you. Type 1818 if you believe God is preparing you for something greater than you imagined. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. Sometimes God speaks in the storm, but many times He speaks before the storm. He gives us a chance to turn around, to return to Him, to choose His path before we step into something we're not ready for. His warnings are not threats, they are acts of love. They are a sign that He cares too much to leave you unaware. He won't force you to stay close, but He will call you again and again because your soul is precious to Him. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are His child, created with purpose, held in grace, and deeply loved beyond anything you've ever known. Maybe lately, you've felt distant. You've been running on empty, pouring into everyone else while quietly feeling your own faith slowly slipping. You've smiled while hurting, stayed strong while breaking, and said, "I'm fine," when your soul was crying for help. But God sees it all. He sees what others don't. And right now, He's not asking you to pretend anymore. He's asking you to pause, to take this moment seriously, to understand that what feels like just another message could actually be a moment that changes everything. He's not trying to scare you. He's trying to spare you. Spare you from the kind of sorrow that steals your peace, from the kind of pain that builds slowly, and from the enemy's subtle plans that seem small at first, but grow into deep regret. God is trying to build something stronger in you before the weight of life tries to tear you down. He wants you covered, protected, and filled with the strength that only comes from staying close to Him. Type 1313 if you believe God is fighting battles for you that you can't even see. Sometimes we get used to functioning in survival mode. We get used to keeping busy, pushing through, avoiding the deeper parts of our soul that are quietly aching for restoration. But God doesn't want you to live that way anymore. He doesn't want your relationship with Him to be reduced to quick prayers and distant thoughts. He wants your heart fully, honestly, gently laid down at His feet so He can begin to rebuild what's been worn thin. You were made for closeness with Him, not distance. You were created to walk with Him daily, not visit Him occasionally. And the more you drift, the more vulnerable your heart becomes to everything this world throws at it. But when you stay near, truly near, there is a kind of peace that doesn't make sense, a calm that holds you together even when things are falling apart around you. That's the peace He wants to give you. That's the safety He's calling you into again. He's seen every moment when you cried and no one knew. He's watched you carry burdens you didn't ask for. And He's not looking at you with frustration. He's looking at you with compassion. He wants to carry what you can't anymore. He wants to give you rest. He wants to speak to the parts of you that have gone quiet under the weight of disappointment, and He wants to wake them back up with His love. There is healing in His voice. There is peace in His presence. And there is rescue in His timing. If He's speaking now, if you feel that tug on your heart, don't ignore it. Don't scroll past it. Don't wait for another day. What you need most right now isn't a new plan or a new fix. It's a return to the One who already knows the way. This moment is about surrender, about returning before it's too late. Not out of fear, but out of trust. Trust that God is for you. Trust that His ways are higher. Trust that His timing is perfect. And trust that whatever He's trying to protect you from, it's real, and only He can lead you through it safely. You've been strong for a long time. You've been holding so much together. But now it's time to rest in Him, to give Him the weight, to invite Him back into the areas where you've tried to stay in control. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to do it alone. All you have to do is say, God, I'm yours again. And when you do, something shifts. The fear starts to fade. The anxiety begins to lift. Your soul starts to breathe again. Not because the problem disappears, but because now you're walking through it with the One who promised to never leave you. He sees what the next few days hold. He sees what next month holds. And His voice today is not late, it's right on time. This is the moment to stay close. This is the moment to come back. This is the moment to believe again that He hasn't forgotten you, and He never will. You are not beyond saving. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are still loved, still chosen, still pursued by the God who placed the stars in the sky, and still knows how many tears you've cried. He's coming for your heart, not to control it, but to heal it, not to shame it, but to set it free. That's the presence of God reaching out to you. He's not coming to lecture you. He's not showing up to remind you of everything you've done wrong. He's here to pull you close before the weight of life tries to pull you under. That's His heart. That's who He is. He warns not to instill fear, but to deliver you from it. Type 1515 if you believe God is protecting you from things you don't even know about. You've walked through more than most people realize. You've carried things silently, fought battles without applause, and kept smiling while your heart broke behind closed doors. And maybe you've been waiting for someone to see the full picture, someone to really understand that someone is God. He's seen every moment. He's watched every silent tear fall. He's counted every night you stayed awake wondering how you were going to keep going. And he's here now not just to comfort you, but to bring you into something better. But he needs your attention. He needs your heart open. He needs your yes before the path ahead becomes too hard to walk without him. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brainwave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Sometimes the tragedy we're being saved from is not just pain, it's from becoming someone we were never meant to be. It's from bitterness, from pride, from fear that grows quietly when we're disconnected from the one who gives us peace. That's why God is calling out to you now. Because you're not too far gone, and because he still sees something beautiful in you that the world hasn't stolen. He still sees a purpose in you. He still believes in your story. The enemy would love for you to think this moment doesn't matter. He wants you to stay numb, distracted, overwhelmed. He wants your heart to stay quiet and closed, because he knows what happens when someone truly returns to God. He knows that faith, once awakened, becomes a force that no darkness can stop. And that's why you feel this resistance when you think about drawing near again. That's why it feels like everything tries to pull you away. But God is greater. His love is stronger. His hand is still reaching for yours. Type 1010 if you believe his love is reaching for you right now. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to have perfect faith. You don't have to understand everything. All God asks is that you stop walking in your own strength and start letting him lead again. Even if you've messed up. Even if you feel broken. Even if you've ignored his voice for too long. Today can be different. Today can be holy. Today can be the start of something you never thought was possible again. Peace, clarity, healing, protection, and joy that doesn't fade. When God says, "Don't skip me," it's not because he's angry. It's because he knows that missing this moment could mean walking into something unprepared. He knows that life changes in a second, and sometimes the one thing that keeps us steady in the storm is the relationship we chose to build before the clouds rolled in. That relationship is what he's calling you to restore now, not out of obligation, but out of love, out of grace, out of a desire to hold your heart steady when everything else shakes. He sees the pressures you're under. He knows how hard it's been to hold on, and he's not disappointed in you. He's proud that you're still standing. He's proud that you're still seeking, and he wants to meet you in this very place, not when things get better, not when you feel more spiritual, but right now, exactly as you are. That's his nature. That's the God who runs to the hurting, who wraps his arms around the weary, and who lifts the ones who've fallen 100 times already. You don't have to explain yourself to him. You don't have to hide. He already knows, and he loves you anyway. Not because you've earned it, but because he chose you before you ever made a mistake. That love hasn't changed. It's never wavered. It's never grown cold. Even in your silence, he stayed close. Even in your confusion, he was protecting you. Even now, he's setting things in place for your good. You just need to stay near to him. You might not understand why he's warning you now. You may not see the full picture yet. But one day you'll look back and realize that this very moment was him reaching into your life to prevent something deeper from breaking. This was him placing a shield around your soul. This was him saying, "I love you too much to stay quiet." Don't wait for the pain to remind you that you need him. Let his love remind you right now. It's not weakness to lean on him. It's wisdom. It's not failure to come back. It's freedom. The safest, strongest, most powerful place you can be is not in control. It's in surrender. And surrender doesn't mean defeat. It means peace. It means protection. It means knowing that no matter what's ahead, you won't face it alone. So open your heart. Let him in again. Let him heal the parts of you that no one sees. Let him speak to the fear you've been living with. Let him calm the storm before it begins. This is the moment of return, not with shame, not with guilt, but with peace, with trust, with the kind of faith that says, God, I don't want to do life without you anymore. There is a quiet urgency in the way God speaks sometimes. Not loud, not forceful, but with a depth that echoes in the heart and stays there. His voice comes like a soft breeze that tugs at your soul when you least expect it. And if you're feeling that pull now, it's not your imagination. It's not a coincidence. It's him. He knows what's ahead. He knows what's trying to form against you. And more importantly, he knows how to shield you from it if you'll let him. Type 2222 if you believe God is calling your heart back home today. You may feel like you've been walking in circles, trying to find answers in people, in things, in moments that bring only temporary peace. And deep inside, you still feel the ache, the longing, the emptiness that refuses to go away. That's because your soul doesn't need more noise. It needs God. And he's been patiently waiting for you to remember where your true peace comes from. Not in anything this world can give, but in his presence, in his word. In his love that never leaves, never changes, and never fails. This isn't just a message, it's an invitation. An invitation to step out of the cycle that's been keeping you tired, distracted, and spiritually distant. It's an invitation to return to your first love, to come back to the place where your soul felt light again, where your prayers flowed freely, and your heart beat in rhythm with his. You may have wandered, but you are not lost. You may have drifted, but you're not forgotten. God still sees you, and more than that, he still wants you. They tried to hide this ancient 9-word prayer for decades, but it's finally been exposed, and those who speak it are seeing money flow into their lives in miraculous ways. Scientists reveal it awakens a neural pathway tied to abundance, joy, and opportunity. It's short, powerful, and life-altering. Thousands are already experiencing relief from debt and sudden wealth. Don't wait. Click the link in the description and comments before it's removed forever. The world teaches us to be strong on our own, to hold our pain in silence, to carry on without breaking. But God teaches us something different. He tells us that strength begins when we admit we need him, that peace begins when we lay our burdens down, that real courage comes from surrender, not control. And if you've been trying to handle life all by yourself, he's telling you now you don't have to. You were never meant to. Let him in. Let him take the heaviness you've been carrying for too long. Type 777 if you're ready to give God the weight you were never meant to carry alone. There's a reason God is speaking now. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't speak without purpose. If his message has found you today, it's because he sees what's coming and wants to prepare your heart, not to scare you, but to steady you, to anchor you in his truth before the wind starts to rise. He wants your roots deep in him so that no matter what shakes around you, your spirit stays strong. But you have to listen. You have to return. You have to respond. It's easy to grow numb in this world. Easy to get swept up in routines, caught in stress, distracted by everything that demands your attention. Days blur, weeks pass, and before you realize it, you haven't talked to God the way you used to. Your prayers have become quieter. Your heart has become colder. And maybe you didn't mean for that to happen, but it did. But even then, God hasn't gone anywhere. He's been right here waiting, hoping you'd look up again, waiting for that whisper from your soul that says, Lord, I miss you. And if you whisper that today, he'll answer. He'll fill the empty spaces. He'll breathe new life into dry bones. He'll rebuild what's been breaking, because that's what he does. He restores, he renews,